Thank you guys. I don't think it's open on Saturdays yet, but the French Market underneath what used to be called Madison Street Terminal or Northwestern Station, which is now Ogilvy Transit Center, is an excellent example where because the volume of people from the neighborhood is there, it provides an excellent amenity for the railroad passengers, and you can actually get real food at the French Market instead of fast food, and grab it as you go on the way to the train, and hopefully we will get to that point at Union Station. So thank you guys again for this great presentation. I'm really happy about our next speaker. It's Mark Nakayama from the JR Central Railroad. He has a very important qualification for this presentation in that he started his career at JR Central as a conductor on a bullet train on the Tokyo to Osaka line. So he actually has real life experience in operations of bullet trains, and that's very exciting. He has been there at JR Central for 26 years in various commercial departments. And in the last year, he has been working as the general manager of JR Central's Washington office, working to help bring the JR Central Shinkansen system to the United States. And I'm very excited to hear about the potential for two very exciting projects in the United States. So thank you very much, Mark, for coming up.
Hello, everyone. I'm Mark Nakayama. Thank you for inviting me to Chicago. It's a wonderful city. What do you see this photo? Yes, and red trains, Shinkansen, with Mount Fuji. But I think there's one thing missing on this photo. There are three symbolic things of Japanese culture. Does anyone know? That's right, cherry blossom. And cherry blossom in Washington, D.C. was in full bloom last weekend. And here in Chicago, snowing. And so it was a bit surprise for me, but I like this city, so let's go on. So this is me. I was a train conductor when I started with Central Japan Railway Company. By the way, my name is Masahiro Nakayama. It's pretty long, so the Mark is my nickname. In the US only. So my experience with JR is now 27 years as of yesterday, because our fiscal year starts on April 1st. So right after I graduated from my college in Tokyo, I entered this company, Central Japan Railway, and my first job with JR was Shinkansen conductor. And it's kind of, known for Japanese companies that all the college graduates start with field work, so everyone can have a good experience of, your production of service. And after I really had a good time with Shinkansen train crews, and I really enjoy it. The pictures shows the first series of Shinkansen, which is called Series 0, which started in 1964. So, 1964 was the year when we had the first Olympic Games in Tokyo, and our high-speed operation started. So it's been my pleasure to be with this company for more than a quarter of a century. And 2 years ago, we had an international convention in Tokyo celebrating our 50th anniversary of high-speed operations. And we are honored that Mr. Rick Harnish attended this conference. So thank you very much, Mr. Harnish. So let's go on. I spent more than half of my career with JR, with non-rail businesses of JR. And I think I'm more than a rail person. I think I'm a hotel person. I spent 17 years of my career with hotel management and operations. And I spent 2 years at Cornell University for my master's degree in upstate New York. This was a very beautiful place, but much more colder than Chicago. So that was not a very welcome thing. So here you see the cherry blossom in full bloom. It's probably this weekend we have the best cherry blossom in Tokyo. So I'm hoping Chicago will have a spring day very soon. So I'm trying to make my presentation very brief. Your lunch is coming. But I'm going to speak about my company's current situation and our future projects. And also, we have involved in a few international businesses. So that will be an exciting thing for you. So what I'm showing you is the four major business fields of JR Central. Our major business is, of course, bullet train operations. It's called Tokaido Shinkansen. Shinkansen means new trunk line. This is the most profitable operations of our company. And we also operate conventional lines in the central region of Japan. What you see here is EMU express trains. And also our non-rail businesses generate some good revenue for us. And what you see here is a twin tower high-rise buildings, which was built right on the top of Shinkansen bullet train stations in the city of Nagoya. You see three towers here, and one of the towers is the hotel I used to work for. And finally, we started promoting our high-speed services and technology in this country 6 years ago. And this shows the map of Japanese archipelago. You know, we are the 4 small island countries, but we have a nationwide passenger rail network and also 200 miles long of high-speed operations. And actually, JR companies is comprised of 6 passenger rail companies. This used to be a nationwide national railroad company, which was 100% owned by the national government. But actually, it went into bankruptcy in 1987, and it was split into 6 regional companies. And now, the 3 major companies are operating in the main island of Honshu, and 3 major companies are very profitable. And I'm really proud of what we have achieved after, now it's about 28 years after the privatization, and all 3 companies are making good profits and receiving no government subsidies. 3 small island companies are still receiving government funds, but I think our business framework went very well. So we have better customer satisfaction and better services for our people. And JR Central, what you see here in orange is that area we operate. And this region includes 3 major cities in Tokyo, of Japan: Tokyo, Nagoya, and Osaka. The population of this region has 74 million people, which is about 2/3 of the entire population of the country, and also creates 2/3 of GDP, gross domestic income for this country. So I think our company has been very fortunate to be given the central part of Japan, which is most populated and also has lots of business activities. So here are the major numbers, characteristics of our company. 0 train accidents, which cause passenger fatality. So we are very proud of this number, 0 fatality and injuries, which was caused by the company. And this shows the safety and security of our high-speed operation. And it's also very accurate. Have you ever been to Japan? Raise your hands. And did you ride Japanese trains? Yeah. How did you feel? It's good? Yes. And also it's very accurate. Yes. And the average delay of our high-speed operation is less than 1 minute every year. And this number counts the delays caused by natural disasters, which are earthquakes, typhoons. So what it says that our operations is very nearly perfect accuracy. So I'm sure this association is planning a Japan tour this year. So I'm hoping that you enjoy our the safety and accuracy of our operation. And it's very fast. It's not the fastest in Japan, but it's still fast. 285 kilometers per hour, which is about 177 miles per hour. We have the oldest track and infrastructure of high speed in Japan. So it's really hard to increase the maximum speed to up to 300. But the newer part of Japan, newer tracks of Japanese Shinkansen goes above 300. Now the fastest one runs at 320 kilometers per hour by JR East trains. It's about 190 miles per hour. It's pretty fast. And also, our operation is very busy because we have so many passengers who use our Shinkansen trains. 350 daily departures average. We can run 15 trains every hour maximum. And 3 minutes interval. So it's like commuting trains in Tokyo. It's also, mass transit. The entire train set has 16 cars, and each car holds like 80 to 100 seatings. So that makes the entire one train set has 1,323 seatings capacity. So this is big. And this makes you multiply everything together. We have 431,000 passengers every day. which counts to 157 million passengers annually. So we have good, competition, which is airlines. But in a shorter to mid-distance, actually, we overcome airline services. For instance, from Tokyo to Nagoya, it's about 200 miles. We dominate this market, 100% market share. And there's no airline service between Tokyo to Nagoya. So, how train operation can be successful. Our busiest segment is from Tokyo to Osaka. It's about 320 miles. Takes about 2.5 hours. But still, we have much more market share than airlines. We have 85% market share. But you don't want to ride trains for more than 4 hours, like 5 hours. If from Tokyo to westernmost island of Kyushu, we have a big city called Fukuoka. It's about 664 miles away. There, that's, airlines business have more makes sense. So they have 87% market share. So what you see here is our current operation in the blue line from Tokyo to Osaka. But now we are constructing a new track, which shows in the red line from Tokyo to Nagoya. And this one is not just a conventional Shinkansen. We are planning to deploy superconducting maglev technology to new route. And this maglev will be running at the maximum speed of 500 kilometers per hour, which is about 314 miles per hour. So this is our 21st century technology, which is like this. This is a test line in the central mountain region of Japan. But our maglev technology has been proven. It's very safe and accurate and so fast. It actually flies above the ground, 4 inches high. And this is a superconductive maglev, trains, which is actually initiated in this country, but we have succeeded your technology and expanded to this level. So what we are doing in this country, we are being committed to 2 major potential projects in the US, and one is in the state of Texas, from Dallas to Houston. The distance is about 239 miles. Dallas and Houston are the 4th and the 5th largest metropolitan regions in this country, you know that, after New York, Chicago, and LA. And actually, the project has been organized. And the other one is New York to Washington, D.C. corridor, which is the most populated region in this country. Texas high-speed rail projects is currently 100% privately funded. They have several Texas companies investing on this company called Texas Central Partners. And we help their company technically because they have already chosen Japanese high-speed trains as their train systems. And federal government have already started EIS, environmental impact statement studies, and this has been a major achievement, I think, so far. They're saying that they want to start construction as early as next year, and they also saying they want to start operation in year 2021. So it's very challenging, but I think we are very happy to assist their project. And also, Northeast Corridor is a potential region, and we are proposing our superconducting maglev technology apply to this potential project. If this happens, the Washington, D.C. to New York will be connected within 1 hour of traveling time. And I think the first phase from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, which is about 40 miles in distance, it could be connected within 15 minutes. So like commuting, yes. So internationally, globally, you see there are so many countries already having high-speed rail operations. Those countries having high speed above 300 kilometers per hour is in blue. And you see those countries in the red fonts. Those are the countries planning to build high-speed operations, including the US. So Europe and Asia are now enjoying, the high-speed services. So why not in North America? Should happen, because America used to have the nationwide the best train network in the world. So I really hope we can support the U.S. and share our, the best train operations. International High-Speed Rail Association, which was organized 2 years ago. I hope the U.S. can join this association as train operators. The unique thing about Japanese high-speed trains is that we have the principles called crash avoidance. Crash avoidance means trains will never collide each other, and there are 2 reasons that will not happen. Our high-speed tracks are dedicated only to high-speed trains. There are no freight trains and commuters sharing the same track, and there are no level crossings. And secondly, we have a very good automatic train control system that avoids any accidents of running trains. So thank you so much for your attention, and I hope if you enjoy participate in the Japan tour, you will be very welcome by the JR companies. Thank you.
Are there any questions? Yes. In Texas, there's been a great deal of opposition to the train being balanced and used. And how are you coping with that opposition? Do you think you'll be able to succeed in building that?
Yes, our position for Texas project, the question was that there's some opposition in the state of Texas for building high-speed rails, and how do you cope with that? And my company, JR Central, is helping the developing the business operating company of Texas technically. So we are not in a position of dealing with those oppositions face to face. But it's the same thing. Anywhere in the world, there will be people who are not satisfied with the proposed transportation, high-speed transportation, but that we have to talk, always. There are good things and bad things, and we try to make it our operations. We have been doing this in Japan. Our trains makes less noise, and it's very environmentally safe in Japan already. Consumes less electricity. Its CO2 emission is 1/10 of airplanes. So I think we have to deal with all the problems that we face, and we are in a position to help those people in Texas.
Any more? Ed?
In Japan, when you built the high-speed rail, you already had lower speed rail. You had a very robust network of both Tokyo and Osaka and other places, local services that connected with it. Texas Central seems to be a standalone, non-connected high-speed rail. Can you comment on the difference in the business model and the viability?
Okay, the question is that if in Japan, all those high-speed trains are connected with local train services, but what will happen in Texas? For Dallas high-speed terminals, they're planning to locate the station right next to the Dallas Convention Center, and they will be closely connected with their DART, Dallas, that's a LRT system, and I'm sure they will build good parking lots connected to the station. So you're right that it has to have a good, mix of high speed and local transit, and also vehicles.
One last question here.
What is the competitive relationship between the highway system and rail in Japan?
Okay, so what is a relationship between highway system and?
In this country, we've given great priority to developing our highway system. What priority have you?
Okay, thank you. Yes. So your country chose to invest on highway system and also airlines, airport hubs and network. And I think that was happening after 1960s. And in Japan, I think we're behind in that sense. I think our highway network and airline network is not as developed as this country. But our highway systems have been widened, expanded in the last few decades. So I think we have very good mix of highways and railway networks at this point. But it's not as good as this country. You call this a freeway system. We don't have any free highways in Japan. You have to pay tolls, always. Expensive. Yes.
As it should be.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Okay, so there are very important logistics around lunch that I'm not going to tell you until we go through some other things. So make sure you stay attentive until I tell you about the logistics around lunch, or else you can't eat. First, I'd like to bring up Joe, Maurice, and Allan, and then we're going to talk about some other logistics after that.
Welcome, everybody. We wanted to get 5 minutes of everybody's time, or a couple minutes before lunch. I guess for the guys holding you up for lunch. Have the silent auction in the back. Allan, I just outbid you for one of the items, so maybe we'll. But I just want to say how special this organization is to all of us who have been around for a while, and you know, to think we're, from what we can tell, the only high-speed organization in the country with a dedicated office. In fact, who here's been to the office and seen the associations? Just really an amazing thing we've been able to support that with executive director that, you know, just really inspires us. A good example is Rick just got invited to speak at Dubai, I think, on high-speed rail. And Rick, can you invite your 120 of your best friends to go with you maybe next week? Or?
You're certainly welcome to attend. I'm not sure that they will pay your travel.
Okay, we'll find a way to get them there on train maybe. That'll be our challenge. But I want to invite Allan up from the board. Allan Papps, who's going to talk a little bit about some things we're doing on fundraising. I want to hand out something for you that we think is an important initiative we're starting. Then I'll come back up here.
Hi, everyone. My name's Allan Poe. I'm a board member, and I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan originally. I grew up about an eighth of a mile away from the Wolverine line. How many of you have ridden the Wolverine? It's a pretty decent clip. How many of you have been to the Gandy Dancer in Ann Arbor? Yeah, that's where the Ann Arbor Terminus station is for now, at least. It's going to be changing. But so I grew up with trains in my blood, and then I went to school at the University of Wisconsin in Madison. And how I got more interested in rail from an advocacy standpoint is to get home. I didn't have a car. I would take the Van Gelder bus. Who's taking the Van Gelder? Yeah, that's a fun ride. Sit downtown in Union Station for a couple of hours and take the Wolverine back and forth through Chicago to Ann Arbor. So I just want to say, first of all, that Rick and the organization just done such a terrific job. And if we could too take a second to give Rick and Dylan and the volunteers a round of applause for putting on a really terrific program so far. You know, one thing that keeps coming up as a board member and, you know, hearing everything today is that there are so many outstanding opportunities to bring higher and true high-speed rail to the Midwest, but there are so many challenges as well. And, you know, one thing that we talk about a lot as a board is getting creative in terms of fundraising and what things we can do better to advance the mission of our important work. And one thing that the board worked on this summer was developing some guidelines on how to better support the association through a new special opportunity. And so we're dabbling into the water of estate and plan giving. And for those of you who don't know, estate and plan gifts are a really easy, effective way to make an impact on multiple levels. It's a way to honor your legacy. It's a way to advance the mission of the organization. And it's a way to also, at times, provide some tax benefits to you and your family. Full disclosure, I'm 34 years old. I've got my first kid coming in June. And so you start thinking about bigger issues down the road. And I actually am a planned gift donor. I have a planned gift. What's it called? The University of Wisconsin is a partial beneficiary of my retirement plan. And I'm telling you this because it was so easy to do. It was something that I wanted to do for a long time. It took about 5 minutes. I just needed the organization's tax ID, and then all of a sudden I made a planned gift, and it was that easy, and I felt really good about myself and the fact that I was investing in something that had given me so much. So we've just put up some information on our website, midwesthsr.org. If you click on the support button, there's more information on how to make a planned gift. And then obviously this is a very, very personal decision. So the purpose of us today is not to solicit you, of course, but to just let you know that this option's available. And if you're interested in learning more, please look for Rick or me or another board member, and we'd be glad to share more information. Thanks so much for all that you do for the association, and I'll turn it back to Joe.
Yes, I'd like to invite Maurice Ball up just to say a word about a special event we're having for donors of the association.
Okay. Good afternoon, or good morning. So on Thursday, April 28th, we're going to be hosting an exclusive reception for the Midwest High-Speed Rail Association members. And this is an exciting opportunity for members who have generously contributed $100 or more in the past year to the association. We'd like to recognize you and thank you for your generous donation. That helps us to expand and grow as an association and to reach out to the many different groups out there. And so we're going to utilize this opportunity to recognize you. Joe Schwieterman, our president, will include a high-level update from our executive director, Mr. Rick Harnish. And so this will be an exclusive opportunity where you can meet and greet Mr. Rick Harnish and hear the latest and greatest with our association. The event is scheduled for April the 28th from 6 to 7 p.m. at DePaul University. And we encourage you, if you haven't already donated, to please consider doing so and to talk to one of our board members. We've passed around flyers that gives more information about this amazing event, and we hope you will join us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Maurice. And my last thing, and I just say we as board members get the benefit of being with Rick behind closed doors, talking about the association, the staff, the efforts, the lobbying, the advocacy. And, this is a chance for Rick to kind of talk somewhat privately about what's going on with the office and with our efforts to grow. And he knows you by first name, and it's just a chance to, to make that. And finally, I just came out with a book about a year ago called Terminal Town, about the city's Airbus and rail terminals. And I was able to get my publisher to donate a bunch of copies. So I was able to arrange for all the proceeds for sales today for the first 14 copies to go to the association. And we've had good luck. We have an exhibit up at Union Station on the terminals of Chicago, Chicago Tribune coverage. And we just thought we'd use it as a little bit of a fundraiser. If you like a copy, they're $22. You can write a check out right to the association if you'd like one. And we hope to generate a few $100 for Rick's operation today, both with this and with a silent auction. So I'll be back there offering the book if you're interested. And with that, Rick, let's talk about lunch. Do you want to come on up?
Okay.
Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. So Joe talked about the book. We have some more opportunities for you to enjoy things as you leave. The next piece, so that I've read that actually. I sat down one weekend and read his book. It was a lot of fun to read. This is the best book I have found on the history of high-speed rail. It was hard for us to get. Normally when we do a book like this, it's normally like, $5 to $10 a book, plus shipping is $5 to $10. We actually had to pay $35 for these, and it's about $10 to ship them. So we have not been able to offer this as a premium at the level we'd like to, but today you can walk out the door with one for $45. It is the best summary of high-speed rail. Has a good section on Japan, but also China and everywhere that they have high-speed rail. So you can talk to the folks at the back about that.